Hey guys, welcome back to my pet channel. If you came over from my beauty channel, thank you so much. Hello, welcome. I have like 13 animals or something like that. I've lost track or count. So I thought I needed to make a separate pet channel, so welcome. This is where I put all of my animal content, and I also have an animal Instagram if you don't see enough of that on my beauty Instagram. Let me straighten you out here. I tried to do my intro. This is my third intro now. I tried to do the first two with Chet, my Pixie frog or African bullfrog. They are one and the same. But he is not cooperating. He's very ornery, as are most Pixie frogs. So we'll do the intro without Chet, and then I will pull Chet out or lay footage over of me handling Chet. I'm not really sure. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be his decision whether he wants to cooperate for me to talk on camera, but it's very hard to hold him in one hand and scroll through your questions. So we'll see. But just to give a little quick background on Pixie frogs, this is not a video to educate on Pixie frogs, and I am not an expert by any means, but I have done tons of research before I got my Pixie frog. You guys might remember when I put out my terrarium build video, which I will link in the description box below. Put some footage over the screen now. Penny, my rescue rabbit, is trying to get out of this enclosure back here. You could probably see it, so she'll be kind of loud. But we'll just have to get through this together. So I built out my Pixie Frogs enclosure, which was really, really fun. It's something I'd never done before, and I was really proud of how it turned out. So I will link that for you guys in the description box below in case you just want to see what it looks like, or if you want to build one yourself. I take you through the whole process and exactly how I did it. And everything that I put in there, I think I linked in the description box as well. And then after that, followed the video following that video was kind of a sad video. I had been looking for a Pixie frog in the area for about 3 to 4 months. Never found one, so I decided to order one online, which I will never do again, and I was never a fan of animals being shipped anyways, but I didn't see any other way, and I was like, everyone's doing it, I'm reading reviews, it seems fine. Not fine. I will never be doing that ever again. So I will link that video in the description box as well in case you would like to start at the beginning of the journey. That's where it begins. It's where it gets real. So I will link that in the description box as well, but let's go ahead and get started. So I got Chet August of the beginning of August, I believe, 2018. So it hasn't been very long. Considering Pixie frogs can live between like up to 35 years. Some websites say 35 years in captivity. Some websites say 45. So who really knows? Anyways, that's older than I am right now. So that is a very long time. It is a very long commitment. So, and I plan to keep Chet my entire life. So let's do the math here. I will be 35 years from now when Chet will be nearing the end of his lifespan, supposedly. I will be 65. So that is crazy. So that is a really long commitment. If you're thinking about getting a Pixie frog, please know that. Pixie frogs also require, I believe, a large enclosure. You will read online otherwise, but if you have been following me on my pet channel for any length of time, you know that I'm a really big advocate of larger cages, whether the animal needs it or not. I believe that animals deserve to have a lot of space to explore and do what they're gonna do, even though frogs don't really travel a whole lot. I believe it's important, and you need space for them to dig. Pixie frogs actually use their very strong back legs to dig holes. They will get in those holes. They will chill in those holes until their prey walks by unknowingly and they snatch it up. So a little bit about Pixie frogs. I have my little fact sheet here. Pixie frogs are found in Central, Eastern, and Southern Africa, South Africa. They can be found in temporary water holes, in the grasslands. It's kind of crazy because Pixie frogs will actually create a mucus like sac for themselves, and they will bury themselves in the ground, and they can stay there anywhere from 6 months to 2 years if there is a dry spell where they live. And then they just automatically know when the wet season is in full swing, and they emerge and they hang out in the puddles and they do their thing. And it's pretty miraculous that they can hibernate for that long when it's 100+ degrees on the surface and they're just like in that little sack underground, chilling, waiting for it to rain. Crazy. Their proper name, by the way, is, let me see if I can do this. I tried to find the pronunciation of this on the internet and I couldn't find it. So just bear with me. We're gonna try and get through this together, you and I. Pixie adspersus. I'll put it on the screen. See if you know how. If you know how to pronounce this, will you write it phonetically down below in a comment, please? So with most frogs, usually the females are a little bit larger, but with this species and this type of frog, the male is larger, and the pixie frog is one of the largest frogs in Africa, which is why people eat them sometimes. There are a lot of bullfrogs. So the males can grow up to 9 inches or more and be well over 2 pounds, whereas females are about half that. I was really hoping that Chet was a male because I really wanted a giant pixie frog, like just a freaking giant frog. There is a photo of me when I was a little girl. I had one of those little plastic pools and I left it in the front yard on the lawn, and I came out one morning and I was screaming to my stepmom that there was a bug in my pool, and I was like, there's a bug in my pool, and I think I was like 6 years old, maybe 5. Then there's this picture of me holding this giant bullfrog, and I'm holding it like this and its legs, I mean, it must have been a pound and a half. Like, it was a big frog. So I have always loved frogs. I actually used to collect frogs when I was little as well. I had frog magnets and frog candles, and I collected frog things. Like, did you ever collect anything when you were little? Like, frogs were my thing. Like, I collected frogs like crazy. So it was only natural that I wanted to get a frog as a pet. I also had a really sad, one of these frogs that I had found had a really sad demise when I just was a little kid and didn't know that it needed water fill-ups like all the time, and I left it outside. We went camping and it dried out, and I felt so bad. My heart broke into a million pieces when I got home and figured that out, because the first thing I did when I got home was go to check on the frog. And my parents, of course, you know, they didn't know that someone needed to watch the thing and everything. So it was really, really, really sad. And I feel like I've needed to like do right by another pet frog since that happened. I mean, I just felt so horrible. So anyways, basically, like, a pixie frog is not like the type of pet that you're gonna want if you wanna like pull something out and like watch it like run around, or watch it or handle it, or, you know, mess with it. Pixie frogs really just like to be left the F alone. Like, Chet is dope because he knows, like, he knows me and he doesn't try and bite me. He's tried to bite me once a long time ago when he thought I was food, but I just grab him and scoop him up from the butt, and I've never had an issue. He is super chill, like, he knows who I am. I pull him out of his enclosure to feed him because I'm not a fan of bugs running around his enclosure. So I pull him out and I put him in something like this that I will wet down, and I feed him in there. And what pixie frogs eat is a lot. I feel like I'm probably answering some of your guys' questions that we're gonna go over, but what I feed Chet is his staples are crickets and dubia roaches. He is obsessed with dubia roaches, but what I'll do is I'll kind of do like 1 week where I'll do dubia roaches, and the next week I'll do a little bit of crickets and dubia roaches. I also do wax worms, I do super worms, I do mealworms. Everyone says that super worms can actually bite through the inside of their stomachs. That's not true. That's just not going to happen. They're going to die before they even get an opportunity to do that. So that's not real. And I've done a lot of research on that because people are like, oh, squish the head. You don't need to do that. Although you do really need to be aware of what size insect you are feeding your frog, and you need to be watching what is going on, because since they do have the ability to bite, super worms, they can crawl around and bite your frog. So you do need to watch that, and I definitely make sure that I don't feed my pixie frog any kind of insects that is wider than his mouth and his jaw. So, and that's kind of the general rule with any reptile other than like a snake or something. But like with a bearded dragon, a leopard gecko, you shouldn't feed anything that's larger than the widest part of its head. jawline. So that's what I do. I'm trying to think. I also do have some frozen pinkies that I do thaw out and feed to him every now and then, but typically he just really likes things that are moving. So I'll pull him out, put him in there, and feed him a variety of insects. In the wild, they eat birds, they eat other amphibians, insects, reptiles they will eat. So basically they're pretty lazy when it comes to hunting for food. They kind of just will sit and wait until something comes by and they're like, that looks good, get in my belly, and then they eat it. And it's really interesting to watch pixie frogs eat because their tongue is really large, especially really large pixie frogs. It's kind of fun to watch because their tongue is so large and like human-like. It's really interesting. Okay, I'm gonna go try and grab Chet again. He was not cooperating for us before. I'm gonna try this time, and I'm just gonna like hold him like this while I go over some questions, and we'll see how it works out. I might have to put him back throughout, but we'll see. Say hi, Chet. I will have to show you guys, insert some photos here of Chet when he was a baby. When I got Chet, what are you doing? When I got Chet, he came in a cup this size, and now he is this big. He was in this tiny little solo condiment cup. It was amazing. And now he is so big, and I've been saving pictures of him since he was little. So I will pop those on the screen. Super, super fun to see like how much he's grown. It's insane. I also already fed him, and that's when I was like, oh, I should film this video, but I really should have like waited to feed him on camera because you guys would get a kick out of watching him eat. It's like just awesome. You are very squirmy today. Chewy and the gang asked what kind of filter I suggest. For Chet, I have a turtle filter. I like this because the filter is going to take up some space in the water area, and Chet is able to actually sit on top of this one because it's kind of like a little rock ledge. So I prefer that one. It's worked pretty well for me. It does get clogged quite a bit and I have to clean it out and whatnot, but it is, I would say it's a pretty good filter, and that's what we use. What kind of lighting do you use for Chet? So Chet has a UVB light. Hi, sweetheart. What, just not having it at all. Just not interested. We'll give you a couple more minutes, we'll see. I use a UVB light for Chet, and I also have I use like an aquarium water heater that keeps it around like 76 to 80 degrees in the water for Chet. And then I also have an under tank heater. And then if it gets a little too chilly for the ambient temperature, I will go and I put the heat, you're distracting me. The heat pad underneath the dirt, because Chet actually really likes to burrow in the dirt. This is more recent that he's been doing that, but he'll burrow in the dirt. And then I'll also use a above tank heater or like a light if the ambient temperature is like a little too chilly. Why did you name him Chet? Okay, I'm gonna insert a clip right now of why I named him Chet. It is from one of my favorite movies called Weird Science. Cue the clip.
Quit screwing around. This isn't funny, you stupid.
Oh, now careful, Chet. Don't make me angry.
Sorry.
That's better.
Would you please turn me back to normal, please? I haven't done anything to you.
No, but you've done plenty to your brother.
Like what?
Someone said, do they make noise? How come he's so fat? African bullfrogs are just chunky. Look at this little chunky chunk. Just a little chunky. They're very chunky. Their stomach protrudes on the side, and they're big to scare their prey. They actually jump at their prey to scare them. Bullfrogs also the males do croak at night, and that's one way you can tell if you have a male or a female too. The females will not croak, but males will have a very deep croak. So I'm hoping to hear that soon. Chet, please croak. I really hope you're a boy because I want a very large pixie frog. I'm gonna put Chet in here for a minute. He's not really cooperating with me. Emily Martell said, how big is he going to get? I kind of went over this in the intro, but just again, males will get around 9 inches or larger, and they can be 2 pounds and over. So they get pretty large. Females will be about half that size, but they shouldn't get any larger than 6 inches. And when we're saying inches, we mean from the snout here to the bottom of the butt here. Okay, say goodbye, because I need to put you back because you're not behaving. Huh. Someone asked if it's normal for him to be this large and round. Yes, it is. He is a pixie frog. Pixie does not mean small. They are some of the largest frogs in Africa. So yes, it's actually completely normal for him to be this large. I'm gonna go ahead and put Chet back, and I will overlay some fun footage of him, but he is not having this anymore. So I'm just gonna respect his wishes and put him back in his enclosure. Cannabliss 780 says, are they slimy? I wouldn't say that he's slimy. I think that he kind of feels like a ridged dolphin in a way. He's definitely not slimy, but when they do shed their skin, they get slimy bits on them that almost looks like snot kind of, and that comes off in the water, and that can kind of be a little bit slimy. And I had already answered what is life expectancy, but just again, in case you missed it in the beginning, some people say 35 years in captivity and some people say 45. So, I mean, that's a pretty big discrepancy between the two. I am just gonna go with 35 because that's mostly what I've read from multiple websites throughout the past year that I've been researching. So we're gonna go with that. Brit Brat 1312 says, will he hang out with you? As you can see from this video, no. I do plan on actually taking Chet in the real sun once summer comes. I'm gonna get him a little pool that I can hang out outside with him and let him soak up some rays and whatnot, and swim around. But generally speaking, no, frogs do not hang out with you. Miranda Nicole 13 says, are they loud? Are they social with other frogs, or do they prefer to be independent amphibians? African bullfrogs are actually known to eat their own offspring, so they don't really play nicely with others. I mean, they're mostly independent. I would not say that they are any sort of a pack animal or anything like that. They kind of do their own damn thing, and they will actually eat their young. So yeah, sometimes plays nicely with others, but no, you would not keep like 2 pixie frogs in an enclosure together like you would keep dart frogs or something like that. They need to be solitary. Whoa, Hannah says, what is his workout routine? His body is popping. His workout routine is, I'm gonna frickin' sit here until a worm crawls across my face or a dubia roach, and then I'm gonna eat it. That's his workout routine. Aaron Pixie Jones, how fitting for this video, said, is he named after the brother from Weird Science? My mom was the double of Lisa in the 90s. That is, or 80s. That is amazing. I hope you're watching this. Yes, as we know now from the clip earlier, he was named from the brother from Weird Science. That's amazing. Mademoiselle _ Lindorf said it would be interesting to know what enclosure I choose when he is fully grown. It's going to depend. We're gonna wait about 6 more months. I wanna find out for sure if Chet is a male or a female. The name will stay the same no matter what the circumstances. But I would like to get one that's at least double the size of the one that he's currently in so that I can make a bigger water area. He does like to swim, and I wanna give him the space to be able to do that, and then also give him space to be able to dig in the dirt and hang out there. He does that almost every night. He'll dig into the dirt and just chill in the dirt. So yeah, I think that, I mean, what he's currently in is supposedly bigger than what you even need to have them in, like a full grown. I've seen people say, oh, all you need is a 10-gallon. I don't agree with that. I don't think that that's right. I like to give my animals like the largest enclosures that I possibly can, even if they say, oh, they don't need it. Because out in the wild, like, they have tons of space to roam and swim around and do all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I like to recreate that as much as possible. Someone said, what does it cost to keep him? I'd have to do the math honestly, but I would say once you get the initial setup cost me over like $300, I think. The initial setups are always kind of expensive, but from there, what you need to do is buy filter replacements for the filter that's in there. And if you get a cleanup crew for the substrate in there, then it's self-cleaning for the most part. But on food and vitamins, I think it would probably cost you about $15 to $20 a month. And then obviously with that comes the electricity bill. My electricity bill overall for all of my animals is over $500 a month. So what it is specifically for Chet's enclosure, I'm not really sure, but he does have a water heater, a pad, his UVB light running. The UVB light's only on during the day, but the other two are on all the time. So it just kind of goes on when it needs to heat the water up. But yeah, if you're on a super tight budget, I mean, I feel like this would be a relatively affordable pet once you get past the initial setup. And if you can't provide the initial setup, then you should just wait and save up, because it's not fair to not give them the proper setup and enrichment and things to do. I really don't like when people just put a tub of water unless it's like bigger than this. But like, can you imagine how big he is only swimming around in this all the time? Like, I just don't think that's fair. And then your filter's gonna take up some space in there. That's just not enough space for them. So yeah. I hope that answered your question. That's it for all the questions. If you have any more questions about Chet, it's not too late. Go ahead and leave them in the comments below, and I'll be hanging out with you guys there and answering more of your questions there if I didn't cover anything. Thank you guys so much for watching again. I appreciate your support. You just giving us your time watching a video and thumbsing it up and commenting and interacting is so helpful for this channel and really helps me take care of my rescues, rescue other animals, set up amazing enclosures, and continue to do videos like this. So thank you guys so much. We will see you over on my pet Instagram. Thank you so much. How many times am I gonna say thank you? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We will see you in the next video. Bye guys. Have you just been over here judging us this whole time? Huh? How's that blood? Just hanging out here, staring at us while we film. Don't eat my finger. That's me. That's me. Come here, cutie pie. Go this way. Can you hop or something? That'd be cool. Why are you so handsome? I think you're a girl though, but you can still be handsome.